Hi. I thought I'd come on. I just had some things occur to me, and I thought I would share them with you. Also, if anybody's watching, feel free to ask a question. I can do a couple of like psychic answers. If I'm probably not going to stay on too long, but if someone asks a question, I will answer it. Also, feel free to contact me through my healing website, and email me if you have any questions, or like if you want to customize a distance healing session, or if you just want a couple of answers. I can be flexible as to like how much time we spend on it or the cost and stuff like that. So okay. And all right, so the advice I had come to me was like, try to like really embrace relaxation and like letting go of everything, like even if it's just for 30 seconds or 5 minutes of your day. Like I think anyone can afford like 5 minutes of their day of like total letting go of like all your concerns and everything else, and letting every cell in your body just completely relax and just allow like life, and like the universe to kind of take over, where you're not like responsible for those 5 minutes at all whatsoever. And it gives each cell in your body like the opportunity to just be in its own energy, and to not be like doing a task, let's say, because then when it's not doing a task, it can focus on itself and start to like balance itself. So yeah, and also when you're going through life, like try not to be like an internal boss that's like oppressive to yourself. It's kind of like driving somewhere and having a passenger like get mad at you if you missed a turn or this or that, and to just like let that voice, that self-critical voice, just completely quiet down, where you're just moving through life without this like narrative, like play-by-play going on in your head, where you're just more able just to see the moment for what it is, and like have faith in yourself that you can like negotiate each moment just with like a kind of flow, like an automatic like inner wisdom, so you don't have to have that like critic like saying like, oh, why'd you say it that way, or like whatever a habit you might have in that regard. Also, right before I started the video, I was asking like what would be good advice for everybody, and I feel like it's really important, like in the northern parts of the world, we're just starting to get like good weather and stuff, so it's easier to spend more time outside and appreciating nature. And I really felt like a big need for people just to like acknowledge the feminine, and like acknowledge the earth, as the most important feminine in your life, and appreciate like the stability and like the nurturing aspect of the earth. Like even though some people might live in like urban environments where you're not really seeing like trees giving fruit, or planting seeds and seeing them grow, waterfalls and all that stuff, but they do exist. And it's important to like remember that the earth is just constantly like providing. And while we might not all be knowledgeable about like what wild plants we can eat and whatever, like if we knew all that stuff, we would feel just like the world is just free groceries. And like it's really important to like remember that there's all this abundance constantly growing like all over the world, and just to give thanks for that, like acknowledge it in your mind so that you feel the sense of abundance and that you're taken care of. And you might find that like you might make some different decisions, whether it's like starting your own home garden or, just getting into that vibe of like there is plenty, like food grows itself. You just have to, set the scene for it. Yeah, so like quieting down the self-criticism and acknowledging that abundance is everywhere are the two big messages. And I'll just like see if there's anything else before I sign off. And if you guys have a question, feel free to like put it in the chat. I'll just like think of what else. I get this like really sciencey, like informational energy. I'm just gonna see what that is. It feels like I know nothing about this like new types of currency and stuff, but I'm getting the impression that it's like worthwhile to learn about it. So maybe you know more about it than I do, but I've not even begun to like research any of that. But I'm getting the feeling like it's actually a good time to like discover that and figure out like how you want to negotiate with that or invest or yeah. It's not something that interests me, but I guess like I'll take my own advice here and like start to look at it. I don't know. Because like I think some people can make like even just $5 investments and see where they go, and maybe that's worthwhile. I know like I met some people who do like home trading or whatever, and it pays their rent and stuff. And I guess if you're like mathematically inclined, or like that's something people do now. So like, yeah, the whole landscape of financial information, I feel like is shifting and won't go back to the old. So it's worthwhile like learning about that. This is a message I get. It's a really weird image. I'm getting this image of like a woman in like a corset or something, like emphasizing their chest and stuff. And I think it has, like it's like a trend now to like, surgically add to your body mass in different places and stuff. Maybe it has to do with that. Way. I'm not advising doing that. I'm just trying to see what the messages around that. Yeah, I just like when I look at that, it just like feels like pain, and I'm getting the message that like instead of focusing on being picture perfect, that focusing on your health and like agility and ability to run fast, or whatever you're capable of given your circumstances in terms of exercise, is more important than like looks that can fade, or like how like people who might have had a boob job or something, and then like fast forward to when they're like 70 years old, like when your skin is like thinner and stuff, it's more obvious that those were additions and stuff, that kind of thing. Whereas if you focused on your health right now and flexibility and like strength, that's the type of thing that will like last and benefit you long term and stuff. So yeah, that message was like, don't worry so much about like surface value stuff, because it's very temporary and expensive. And I also feel I'm getting the sense of like pain and like recovery and stuff like that. So it's not something to take lightly. Yeah, and I also feel like from what I said like a couple of days ago, in terms of like not letting or politics kind of stuff like get to you. I'm getting this feeling of like 4 kind of masculine energies intimidating, and the message I get is like, don't react, like don't, like if somebody dishes out a certain vibe to you that's like negative or confrontational, like don't mirror that back to them. Just like let them be in their energy, and like that's what they're doing, and you keep on your own like project or like point of view that you think it's like important to sort of embody in this lifetime. So I mean, sometimes I've told people, like, if they're under a lot of stress, it's like I compare it to like when there's been world wars and stuff going on. Like there's always like some poet in a shack, like writing some beautiful love poetry or like something profound, or like George Orwell in a cottage in Scotland writing 1984 by himself or whatever. Like, you don't have to like get all mixed up with people verbally or like hand-to-hand combat to like solve problems. Sometimes going inward and relaying what you feel intuitively is like a much stronger message. Yeah, so I feel like there's gonna be like I said in the last video, like a lot of triggers in the next, like until November, of like various stuff going on in the world, and it'd be really easy to just mirror that back, because mirroring is kind of like the no-brainer type of living style where you don't really have to think about your like purpose in life. You're just reflecting back what was given to you. So it's pretty like basic and not that cool way to live. So it's better just to like observe and go like, okay, well that's where they're at. And I go back to like being centered in like my communication with my higher self, or like the source of all that is, and like from that kind of friend group or whatever, delivering your message and not just like barfing back like whatever someone just like threw at you. Yeah, so I know it takes like some focus, but if you think of like when people are talking to you, like I'm gonna not be their mirror right now, and you can practice that with like whoever, and then you just take a moment to kind of center yourself and then be the energy that you wish was in the world back, like in any situation. And then you might find like you'll start aligning like with your purpose and stuff like that, because you're giving your intelligence like over to that intuition and stuff. Yeah, because like the alternative is just like looking at too much information and just getting triggered by this, that, and the other thing like constantly, and you're wasting like your precious like life and your energy. You're giving your energy over to something that you don't even want like to exist, really. So it's like, why would you nurture those ideas when you could just be like, okay, whatever, and then focus on what you want to build, I don't know why it's like hard for me to talk right now. I feel like anyway, I hope you guys have a good day, and I guess there's no questions, so I'll take that as a positive. And yeah, I hope you have a good day. Bye. Talk to you later.